Good evening. I am your host, Jean Moore. We have another wonderful segment of Woman to Woman. I promise you, you want to grab a pen and call a friend so that you're able to tune in to a very exciting episode on tonight. I have a wonderful panel here, and I am going to first introduce this panel to you, starting to my left.
Hello, my name is Lisa Lewis. I'm the daughter-in-law of Beverly Davis from Prosperity House, and I'm also a part of the advisory board.
My name is Beverly Davis. I'm the founder and director of Prosperity House.
I'm just the son.
He's tickled and excited all at the same time in regards to what we're going to be delivering to you tonight. This is a very, very serious moment in regards to what we're going to be talking about tonight. And as you have heard, this is Ms. Beverly, and you're the founder of Prosperity House. And having the opportunity of going over some of the things in regards to what you guys offer, I have found this to be very, very, very exciting. So if I wish to ask you, give me a little information in regards to Prosperity House.
Well, Prosperity House is 2 years, going on 3 years old. We opened in April of '09, April 16th, in fact. And I started off with a 16-bed facility for drug-addicted women. And it's a transitional house for recovery. Those who have been to treatment or who have been incarcerated. Really, I take all women, domestic violence, homelessness, whatever a woman is going through, I accept them into my house.
If I wish to ask you why Prosperity House in regards to dealing with addictions or dealing with women who have come out of prison, why?
Well, I started this business because I used to work at East West University in Chicago, and I ran a program called Upward Bound Math Science Program. And I would live with 58 high school students every summer for 6 months, literally live with them. Well, I noticed a trend that the parents weren't picking their children up the way they used to. I mean, I've had your child all week, and on Friday you're supposed to pick them up, and every year it was getting worse. And so I would get calls from the children telling me that they're hungry or they haven't seen their parents or their mother and this and that. And I noticed the trend, it started getting worse. So I looked into it and found out that a lot of the parents were addicted.
You know, when you think about addiction, there are so many other things that comes behind that. Mm-hmm. And as I was reading in regards to, you have an opening for transitional housing that's going to take place on 123rd and Low. When you think about that, you think about mothers who are suffering from HIV and AIDS. You think of mothers who's using drugs and other things that they actually deal with. And I also see in here you're dealing with methadone users as well. But what struck me is the age group of the individuals that you're getting ready to deal with. Mm-hmm. These are children from the ages of 10 to 17 that is going to be in your new transition. Now, and I want to jump to that just for a good reason, and we're going to go back to the mothers. But why 10 to 17, and we're talking about HIV and AIDS? When you think of a 10-year-old, you think of them playing with Tonka trucks if they're males. You think about them playing with the Barbie dolls if they're females. But we're talking about HIV and AIDS. That is like, wow, why?
Our foster care system is full of children who are HIV positive, who have AIDS. And we're having a hard time in the state of Illinois placing them in permanent housing. Wow. And I know that I have a lot of love inside of me to give. And I know that I love children with all my heart. And I know that I would not be afraid, that I would be compassionate, and that I would take care of these children. I would like to have them in a safe, homey environment where they can prosper until a family takes them permanently.
Before I go on to the other individuals to ask you your interest and your feel and your take on this, one of the things I would say, when you think of a 10-year-old, are these individuals who are sexually active becoming infected with HIV and AIDS, or is this something that was actually transmitted towards them through the mother? How are these children actually in this position in regards to being HIV and AIDS?
Most of them were born with it. Most of them had drug users for mothers who, while during their drug use, may have contracted HIV/AIDS, and the child was born with it.
You say that the places are filled with children in these ages. People are not accepting them into their homes.
Exactly.
Is that because of fear? Which I know it is.
That's the number one. Yeah, that's the number one reason. People think that just sit next to someone, or if they sneeze on you, or that you can contact AIDS. Airborne. It's not airborne disease.
So how are individuals
fluid to fluid? If a person is bleeding, and I have an open wound, and I touch the blood, and the blood touches that open wound, it's a possibility that I could be contacted with HIV.
Raymond, being a male, the son of this wonderful lady who's I can see doing a fantastic job in regards to opening these transitional homes. What is your take on this? What have allowed you to want to be a part of this?
Well, I was amazed by what my mother's doing, how she reached out to the women, first of all, and go out there and minister to them, open her doors to them, house them, take care of them. She has instilled in me, inspired me to go and do the same. So when I look at my mom, I look at hope, I look at vision, and I look at prosper. So I want to take that same vision and do the same with the youth as well as the men and the women.
When you think of a young man being a man yourself, when you look at another young man, you see hope in him, but what is it that you actually do? What is your role when you're having the opportunity to take on a young man to help him either overcome the stigma that is placed upon him, or being able to give him hope to go forward in life? What is your take?
My take is to build his confidence, to let him know that he too can overcome and he can be anything he wants to be.
Is any of these things anything that you have ever had the opportunity of experiencing?
Yes, I have.
Which I always find to be the number one key. Because if it's something that I have experienced in my life, people are more receptive to want to listen. People are more receptive to want to believe. If it's more so than what I have read, or what someone else has maybe have taught me that I want to give back to you, that is all you have to offer me. So I'm not really feeling secure within myself. I'm not really wanting to believe you when you're saying I'm dealing with some very serious issues in my life. If I wish to ask you, Miss Lisa, what is your field in regards to what is going on? And I take it that you are the daughter-in-law to this beautiful lady right here. So how did you get involved? Is it just because of your fiance, or is this something that you have a passion for?
Well, I met my mother-in-law through Raymond, of course, but I've always had a vision with homelessness. I brought it to his attention on many occasions that I thought I was thinking of something along that line. And when I was introduced to her, I really felt like, wow, this is something that I've always wanted to do, and I just fit right in.
Well, I know that Ms. Beverly said that she worked in that environment, so she was exposed to that. And being exposed to that, she saw that need, that desire, and she developed that passion of wanting to go to the next level, to be able to provide these children with the need that was not, at that time she saw being met. So what was that drive for you to have this passion?
Well, as a kid, I used to always tell my mom when we drive past, like in the wintertime, and you would see the homeless people laying out on the benches and things, I always said, I wish we could take them home with us. She's like, you can't take everybody home with you. But that is what drove me to want to be
to say if you could, you open up a facility and you will just have rooms over rooms, just having this in regards to that, them having some place to go.
Oh, yes.
You deal with at-risk boys from the ages of 10 to 17 that is just entering the court system. When you say that, what do you mean? Just first offense?
Yes, first offense, probably sent to boot camp maybe, and instead of them going to boot camp, they send them to us.
And what is done at your facility for these?
Well, we're going to have a structured program. We'll have, they'll be going to a preparatory school. We are in the process right now of linking with several preparatory schools for all boys that will accept them. We have certain different series set up to train them as entrepreneurs, to train them also in different vocations. We have all kinds of doctors and lawyers as mentors that want to help our youth. We're going to keep them very active, and I want the gang affiliated. I want the hardcore. Between the ages of 10 and 17, I say send them to me.
How long would they be in your facility?
They'll stay in my facility as long as it's needed.
Now
Once they cross, as long as they're under 18. Once they are over 18, then we'll try to help them maybe go to college, or either place them in some type of program where they're able to have their own apartment through working and being able to pay their own rent. All while they're living at Prosperity House, they're going to learn about finances. They're going to learn martial arts where they can get some confidence. We're going to teach them about fatherhood before they become fathers if they're not already fathers. We're going to teach them how to be responsible and to take pride in their community. We're going to be teaching them how to volunteer. They have to volunteer in the community that they live in, which is West Pullman, the 34th Ward. They'll have to do some community service work every month in order to be in our program.
Now you said that you only have 16 beds.
No, that's at Prosperity House now.
That's at Prosperity
We're
House.
at 6620 South Evans in Chicago. That's
Okay.
Prosperity House #1.
So you have Prosperity House number 2.
Number 2, 3, and 4.
Number 2, 3, and 4.
We have been allotted
Oh.
4 6 flats
I see.
on 123rd and Low.
So each one of those complexes will be able to accommodate how many individuals?
There'll be 24 per building.
Per building?
Yes,
That
four
is awesome.
four beds per apartment.
Wow.
Yes.
That is.
So God is
awesome.
good.
Amazing.
I was on the radio, and Miss Henderson, the owner of those properties, called me and asked me to open up programs in those apartments. And so we've come to a good relationship. We've canvassed the neighborhood and got petition signed for the alderman.
So that you all can have these
Yes,
facilities.
and so now we're working on getting them open.
Now let me ask you this. Are you going to also utilize these individuals to create jobs within your facility if they go through the program and then, you hire them on? You have some individuals, they're in programs and then they become counselors or,
Of course, I do
employees of
that
the
right now
facility.
at Prosperity House #1, which is my women's facility. We're already doing that. All my monitors, my house manager are all products of Prosperity House.
Now, in Prosperity House #1,
hmm
do you deal with individuals who are HIV and AIDS, these women who are HIV and AIDS, and deal with methadone?
Right now we do.
Okay.
Our methadone house is not open, but we're only because we need 4 beds, 4 twin-size beds. Once we get those 4 beds, then we'll be opening up our methadone house. Now, in order for a woman to live in our methadone house, she has to sign a contract, because methadone is legal, but it's a killer. It destroys bones, and people who stay on it for 20 and 30 years, it's very bad. And so we'll be the only house in the state of Illinois, transitional house, that take methadone users. So the goal is to get them off. We have a case manager, drug counselor, who'll be working with the detox clinics, and they don't want us to do it, but we're gonna help the women get weaned off of it. So
Now, when you say they don't want you to do it, what does that
it's
mean?
a business. You know,
So
I
you
make
saying
my money selling.
I'm getting, so that's like a drug dealer.
Exactly.
I sit here and I'm
Illegal
selling
one.
you.
They're legal.
Right, but here it is, I'm selling you crack cocaine. I can go spend 15, 20 years for selling you crack cocaine. But when you talk about methadone, because I've had the opportunity to see individuals who
Yes.
have been on methadone
Yes.
and what they look, how it ages
Just
them
them.
and lose their teeth and hair and their weight. I mean, it actually destroys them. So I'm trying to figure out, how can something that can be so lethal be legal? Whereas with other things, it just really behooves me, even when I'm hearing them talk about legalizing marijuana. Drugs that have any effect on someone, that can be a destruction to their lives. I'm not understanding.
Right.
But when you're looking at methadone, that is a very, very serious drug.
Yes,
As you
it is.
say, that is something that is legal.
Yes, it is.
So it becomes that
has the
business.
kiss of approval from the government.
And it really,
Mm-hmm.
really is. You know, the first time I actually was watching television, and a lady was actually being interviewed, and she was using methadone. They showed a before picture where this woman was simply beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, she was beautiful. And then they did the after, and I would have never thought that this was the same individual.
Exactly.
Would you actually say that you've encountered being around individuals who have been on methadone, or being in this point would be something that's new to you?
Yes, I grew up around that.
And what is your take? I mean, if you wish to share with individuals in regards to methadone, my question is, what is methadone? How do individuals, is that something they snort? Is that something they shoot? How is methadone used?
It's a drink, it's a liquid. And then you have it by dosage.
And what is
It's
it?
designed to wean you off of heroin.
Okay.
After so many years of heroin use, the methadone is designed to wean you off of that, so that you be no longer addicted to heroin or anything
So
else.
you go from being addicted to
heroin
heroin
to
being
addicted.
addicted to methadone.
Exactly.
And so this is what makes it become legal,
Right.
because it's being used to actually prevent, but then it is really not it's preventing you from one, but addicting you to the
to
other.
another one, because
Correct.
another
Oh, wow.
thing is what you do is you take methadone, you no longer use the heroin, but you become a crack addict.
You no longer is addicted to the heroin, but you become a crack addict.
You be addicted to crack.
Now, crack and methadone are two different things.
Exactly.
So you're going from one stage to another,
Exactly.
and each stage that you're going to is actually a worse
Stage scenario, because when I was addicted, I was duly addicted. I did heroin and I did crack. But now if I get on methadone, that substitutes the heroin. So now I'm taking care of that. So now all I can do is go and get cocaine, which I find a lot of my friends that I grew up with, once they get in the methadone system, that's all they do is become smokers. They smoke more and more cocaine, and they dosage go higher and higher. I've had friends who had dosage all the way up to 250 milligrams.
So when this is just really, really amazing to me. So now here it is, I have you addicted to methadone. You're no longer in the other phases. Now I look at it as a death zone. I done took you from, probably robbing and stealing over here, just snorting and shooting, to put you here with the methadone, and you say this liquid that you're doing, to now just take you out. Now, and when we talk about methadone, we have children who are actually addicted to this as well.
Yeah, but they have to be of a certain age in order to get it. It's legal by the government, but they will be at least 18.
So are you saying that this is something that's prescribed?
Right, it's
you.
legal.
You just
have
go
to
to
have
the
a
doctor.
They have clinics in every ghetto area.
Oh, okay.
And they're
You just say the
usually
ghetto
lines.
area.
Truly, yeah.
In the ghetto area,
yeah.
this is where the places are.
Now,
and it's amazing.
I'm not saying that they don't have them in the suburbs, but I know it's very prevalent in low income areas. Very prevalent, and you can see lines outside where
Always.
that they pass this methadone out, and some people sell it and still use heroin, and they sell their methadone. And heroin addicts that don't have money for a fix will take the methadone, buy it. If they're short of money to buy a heroin, or they can't get any, they'll buy methadone and use it. No recovery home that I know of wants a methadone user in their recovery home, due to the fact that they nod. Now, if I have a group of women,
what does that mean?
I have a group of women who are trying to recover from drugs and alcohol. They're sober. Their bodies are cleaned out. They don't want to, during group, sit and watch somebody nodding off. It's a trigger for some. It could make them want to feel the same way. Look like, oh, they're really high. I might want to go get me one. So recovery homes, transitional homes don't take them. So I'll be the only one in the state of Illinois that take methadone users. And I'm going to, they'll have their own apartment, their own groups. They won't associate in groups with my other clients.
Now, this is something that I'm quite sure you had to have a training on. So
I have a master's degree in addiction studies from Governor State University.
And when you look at a person who's on methadone, if treated properly, how long would it actually take them to actually be weaned off of this particular drug?
Well,
and can they actually be?
They can be weaned off, but it depends on how long the person's been on it and how high their dosage is. So you want to cut the doses down at a small amount, like 5 milligrams or something, slowly take their dosage down, and I'm going to give them a year to be weaned off. They have to sign a contract to live in my house.
And how many individuals do you plan on servicing within
Well, right
the
now, in Prosperity House number 1, it'll only be 4. As soon as I get 3 more twin-size beds, will be open. This is a test, a pilot. I have the buildings on 123rd. One of those buildings will be donated for methadone users only, female. So it will be 24 beds eventually, which will be probably first of next year.
Now, here it is. You're going to be the only facility. This point in time, you're going to talk about servicing only 4 individuals. And God knows how many individuals that we have
I get calls
that is actually
every day
suffering from this methadone, which means that they're being created continuously on an everyday basis because it's legal. And if they're on crack cocaine, you want to get them off of the crack cocaine. You're giving them the methadone, so now they've been addicted to the methadone. Now we're going to have this array of individuals who are suffering. You say you get calls every day.
Yes.
So if it was just to give just a number of individuals that you have calling you per day,
I can say that I get at least maybe 15 to 20 requests a week. Do I have a bed open? No transitional home in the state, in Chicago or in the state of Illinois, take methadone users. None. They don't want them because they think that the methadone users is not going to get off methadone. They just live on it for however long they want to or till it kills them. And my goal is to wean as many people off, as many women as I can off of it.
If you wish to say to other individuals who are looking to open transitional housing, because it seems as though what you're saying to me, to have a methadone home and to have a transitional housing is like 2 different things. Is that true?
It's the same. It's the same thing, but it's a different clientele. All of my houses are transitional.
But you're saying housing for methadone and housing for the other drugs. So if you wish to say to other individuals, what if you wish to tell me, I'll put it like that, what outside of the fact that somebody is nodding will want a person not want to open up a methadone facility?
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason. Because somebody's sitting and nodding makes the only
not
reason why
only
you
that,
want to do that.
it's a clientele of people that are still getting high.
Well,
Some
people
of
are
them-
still getting high on crack cocaine. People are still getting high off of heroin. People are still getting high off of weed. What difference would it make? Because
Transitional recovery homes are for people who are in recovery. That means that you have probably went to treatment, you've been to detox, or one of those, you went to detox and you came to a recovery home, or you went to treatment and you came to a recovery home. But you have cleaned your system of all mood, mind altering chemicals. You're here to learn, to absorb the classes and the groups and teachings, if it's 12-step or whatever you use in your transitional home. Methadone users are still in a mind state that they're using. Sometimes when a person uses, they can't always hear you. So you have to monitor their medication. The methadone has to be locked up in a refrigerator. It has to be kept. You have to make sure that they're not still using other drugs as well. It's way more you deal with. It's almost like a treatment environment.
okay, but is it or is it not true that you have had individuals who go through transitional facilities who have been cleansed in regards to cocaine and drugs, but has went back and became addicted again?
Of course.
Okay, so
And I
if
send
you
them to
know,
detox. You get one time. That's it.
okay, so if you know that this can happen even with individuals with that, are you saying that if a methadone user come in, is you just say that they only have one time? So if that means that if they don't you're done with that individual?
Okay, let me explain what I'm trying to do with a methadone user. What I'm trying to do is the methadone user has to sign a contract stating that they agree with me that they'll work with us to get them off of it within a year. If they don't sign a contract, they cannot live at Prosperity House. The purpose is to get them off of it because it will kill them. Now, they come into the house and they go get their methadone and they use their methadone according to the prescribed amount, according to what is really needed. Sometimes they're overprescribed, so they'll nod. They shouldn't be nodding, but people give them too much. So we're going to work to get them down, and then as we get them down, we'll have drug counselors there to talk to them. Then we work with their clinics to make sure that they are really taking the dosage down. We have a nurse that'll be coming out to check the medicine, the methadone, to make sure everything is okay with that. It's more than just a crack user can stop using crack, and in 3-4 days I can give them a drug test and won't see it. But heroin, your bones ache, you throw up, you do everything. So methadone curbs those symptoms, but you still, if you overdose with it, you can get addicted to it, and you still can have symptoms of being high. So our goal is to remove the person so that they can finally hear what we're talking about. Once they get off methadone, we're not going to put them out. They have another option of staying another 7 to 8 months to get grounded in being sober, to be able to stand up on your own 2 feet, to be able to get you a job and whatever you need so you can go out and be a productive citizen.
Now I heard you say earlier on, depending on how long a person has been using methadone. So are you saying if a person has been addicted 2+ years that there's no hope? Or are you just saying that if they have been on it a short period of time, there's more of a chance of them getting off?
It's always hope.
With that I do
God,
know. God is a good
yes.
God. That's why I know there's always hope.
Right,
Anything,
right.
especially when it comes down to him. He said all through him, all things is possible. But my question is more so that if you're talking about depending on.
I have a limit.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's 10 years.
That
I don't
person
take
would
people
have
off over 10 years. So 10 years and under, mind you, this is a new concept.
Wow.
I've just started. I'm starting off with 4 people to get all the kinks out before I go to 24. I get my little kinks out, make sure I'm doing everything, have my policies and procedures in hand, and work through it. And once I get those 4 up and going, then I'll be able to handle 24. And who knows how far I could go.
What is the amount of staff that you have working with you right now? And do you have individuals that are training for dealing with individuals who are dealing with methadone, children who are HIV and AIDS positive? Do you have those trainings and things going on right now? Are you looking for individuals? How would you?
Right now, we are still in the process of acquiring the buildings per the neighborhood. We have to get approval from the alderman, which will be taking the petitions in on December the 6th. The landlord is 100% behind us. We got over 551 signatures from neighbors in that community. They're behind us, but we have to get the approval. So right now, we'll be having the HIV. We'll be having the at-risk boys. We'll also have a program for men coming from Cook County Jail only. I did a visit over there, and it's over 9,000 some odd men in Cook County Jail. And a lot of them get out, and because they're men, people are afraid to take them. And so we'll be dealing with that, and then we're going to do the methadone. So these 4 programs, the programs are already written. We know that we need a nurse. We know that we need monitors. We know that we need a mother figure in each one of those apartments for those young babies. Okay. So we have to hire those people, and they will be trained properly.
Well, we're here at Woman to Woman. Time goes by so fast, but this was just something I find it to be very, very important. As you know, you have been speaking with Ms. Beverly, and she's the founder of Prosperity House. And I'm sorry that we have truly ran out of time. It was just so much more, but methadone is something that was really deep in my heart that I really want to touch. You're watching Woman to Woman.